Hey there, Alex here. The OnePlus 3T is the replacement to the OnePlus 3, one of the best budget flagship devices in the market. Since it's simply a slightly upgraded version of the OnePlus 3, in this video, I'll be mostly talking about what's new with the phone. If you want a more in-depth look at the phone, a lot of what I've said about the OnePlus 3 still applies, so feel free to read my written review on it. I'll put the link in the description below so you can check it out. So looking at the exterior of the phone, the only difference is actually just the color. It's using a slightly darker shade of grey, but it has the same solid metal build like the OnePlus 3. And really, that's it. It's the same simple but effective design, just in a slightly different shade of grey. There is a soft gold version as well, but there's no change to the color for the 3T. There is actually another difference on the back of the phone, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell with your naked eye. The camera lens on the rear of the phone is now using sapphire glass instead of normal tempered glass, so it should be more resistant against scratches. Underneath that glass though, is the same 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture and optical image stabilization. The enhancements to the camera are mostly software based. First of all, you have something called intelligent pixel technology, which helps with noise in low light conditions. In my time with the phone, I did notice minor improvements in low light shots, but it's hardly noticeable unless you really zoom into the photo. Images in low light conditions are still really decent. While they may not be able to compete with phones like the Google Pixel or the Galaxy S7, I think most people will be quite pleased with the results, considering the price of the phone. Here are some of the samples that I took of the camera. The other thing that has been improved will be the electronic stabilization. The video recording does seem a little bit smoother with less jello effect on the edges, but again, I had to look really hard to tell the difference. It still doesn't change the fact that there are other phones in the market which does stabilization so much better. Since we're talking about the camera, let's take a quick look at the camera performance in good lighting conditions. You'll find a pretty decent shooter all around. Colors are pleasing to look at, decent dynamic range, decent image processing, and there are nice details in the shots as well, so pretty much the same camera as the OnePlus 3. The front-facing camera is where the difference is at. It's now 16 megapixel instead of 8, and has a new smile detection mode for automatic selfies. I'm not a fan of selfies, but I have to say it produces some pretty decent results. The other big difference of the OnePlus 3T will be that it uses the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 821 processing package. Unlike the version in the Google Pixel, which has been downclocked a little, this runs at full 2.35 GHz. Combine that with 6GB of RAM in the phone, you get one of the most powerful Android phones in the market. The phone of course handles gaming like a champ. It runs all the high-end games with no issue at all. The UI is fast and responsive. The app launches quickly as well, and switching between apps are a breeze too. Something that I never felt was lacking in the original OnePlus 3 was power, but hey, I'm definitely not complaining here. The phone now comes in two storage capacity, the usual 64GB and a new 128GB option. Since the phone doesn't support expandable storage, having the extra option is great for power users. The other big difference in the phone will be the battery pack, which is now a denser 3400 mAh battery instead of 3000. This additional battery fits into the same exact body size with no increase to the weight of the phone at all, which is pretty impressive, so you should be able to get better battery life out of the OnePlus 3T. The other thing I want to talk about is actually the software of the phone. While it launched with Android 6.0 Marshmallow, by the time I got the phone, the update for Nougat was already available, so meaning you can get all the Nougat goodness. Things like fast app switching, split screen multitasking, and all those under the hood enhancements. While I do love the cleanness of stock Android, it can be a bit bare bones in terms of customizability. The thing I love about Oxygen OS is that it tries to maintain that clean design of stock Android, but at the same time add useful features and customization options into the UI. Like the navigation buttons, you can choose to use on-screen or capacitive buttons. You can customize action for long presses, for double presses. You can use system-wide dark theme if you want to. You can change the accent color of the icons. You can customize the alert slider. You can lock important apps using a fingerprint for additional security. You can customize what shows up on the status bar. You can use gesture to take a screenshot, to launch the camera, or just to turn on the flashlight. Of course, not all the functionality will be useful for everyone, but most of them are genuinely useful. The best part about all these functionalities and customizations is that OnePlus didn't go too crazy with them like some manufacturers tend to do. The customizations of the UI are kept as light as possible. In the end, Oxygen OS is by far my favorite Android experience yet, and probably one of the best features of the OnePlus 3T. And that's it. That's pretty much everything that's different with the OnePlus 3T. Overall, the OnePlus 3T is one of the best Android phone you can buy, not just for its price, but even when compared to phones that cost a lot more. It has a nice design, top-of-the-line specifications, solid battery life, and one of the best Android experience you can get. The display is just full HD and not the best I've seen. And while the camera is just above average, it's not quite good enough compared to other flagship phones, especially in terms of the features and low-light capabilities. The phone is also not water resistant, which I think should be a standard feature for flagship devices going forward. But these concerns get thrown right out the window when you consider the price of the phone. Never settle indeed.